Robert Craig, and I'm better known as the Light Bulb Strategy Guy. Thank you, Marina, for giving me this great opportunity to share my passion with you today and to our listeners today on Radio Works World.
Wow, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Radio Works World, and our host is here to light up the bulb. Over to you, Robert. It's been so long since we met, and back in Toronto. And are you kidding me? You are the opportunity. Over to you, Robert.
Thanks, Marina. I guess it was about 3 years ago we met, and it was at a conference here in Toronto. And it was during that conference that you were getting awarded for some of the books that you had just recently published, and it really inspired me. I thought, wow, maybe I have a book inside me that I really like to get out. And one day I came home, and on my desk, sitting on my desk, was a letter from my 12-year-old son. And the letter said, "Dear Father, I'm giving this $15 gift card to you as a token of my gratitude for inspiring me to do great things when it comes to reading, business, strategy, and not giving up. I hope that one day I will inspire you and my children as much as you have inspired me. Thank you for all that you have given me. Sincerely, Nicholas." So that letter.
Wait. I want to meet this guy. He is awesome. Hello, Nicholas. When are you coming live on our show? This is a direct invitation to your son, Nicholas, to come and share his story. So all we need is to set a time when his agenda is nice and clean. I know he is very busy right now, and we'll take it from there. Over to you, Robert.
Well, as you know, Marina, I'm very passionate about personal development, and I've been studying personal development for about 20 years, I guess. And I really found that the amount of content out there on how to improve ourselves is incredible, and it can be quite overwhelming. And the one thing I really enjoy doing is taking complex subjects and making them easy for people to understand. And that is the purpose of my book, which is called The Light Bulb Strategy. And it's 7 steps to switch it on and lead a brilliant life. And it really is all about being brilliant at the basics. One of the most popular books out there is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and it's written by Stephen Covey. And I ask people, when you have you read this book or heard about it? They say, yeah, I know, I've heard about it. And then I ask them, well, what are the 7 habits? And then they go kind of blank on you and say, well, I don't know, I don't know, I don't remember. And I said, the one habit that the people seem to remember most is the 7th habit, and that is to sharpen the saw. And it's a metaphor. It's a metaphor to say, if you're going to cut down a tree, you're better to spend a little bit of time in advance sharpening the saw before you spend all your effort cutting down the tree. So sharpen the saw is a metaphor for your skills. In the world, you want to sharpen your skills so that you can be more effective out there. And so I really thought about the power of metaphors and how it really helps us understand things. And I thought, well, is there something I can do to help people understand the personal development world easier using like tools in a toolbox? So I was going through the different tools. A hammer could be, representing, okay, this is authority, the authority you need to have out there. A tape measure could be, how do you measure your results out there? And then I got to thinking about this light bulb, and light bulb is it's a symbol for thinking. I mean, we've all seen pictures of light bulbs over our heads. So I really expanded on the light bulb, and was really playing with a light bulb and was drawing light bulbs and just a standard incandescent light bulb. And what I really found and what came out of it was the blueprint is an actual drawing of a standard incandescent light bulb, and it's something that most people, can draw out a little standard incandescent light bulb, and the parts of the light bulb actually represent the 7 steps of the light bulb strategy. So it's a real visual blueprint of the 7 things you need to do to help you lead a brilliant life. So in the light bulb strategy, it's all about finding your brilliance and sharing your brilliance with others. And Marina, we all have a brilliant gift inside of us that we need to share with the world. And I like to ask your listeners, what is your brilliant gift that you need to share with the world? Often we have those brilliant gifts inside of us, and we keep them locked inside because of fear. And we need to figure out how to break through this fear so that we can provide our gifts to other people. I mean, think about, if Steve Jobs, Picasso, Mandela, Gandhi, Mother Teresa, if they never shared their brilliance with us, we're so gifted that and so fortunate that they provided their brilliance to us. So the one thing I'd like to do is just maybe go through the 7 steps, Marina. Is that okay?
Of course. I wanted to say, Robert, that this is the challenge, you see. We are all individual planets because this is a very small planet we all live on. But each one of us is a different planet. And each planet got its own light, its own brilliancy, and each one of us is, as a result, it's a consequence. It's not even a wish or something we are dreaming about. Each one of us is an agent of brilliancy. And brilliancy goes to different levels. At first it's quiet, and then when you face it and you take responsibility for your brilliancy, everything becomes, so powerful. And it's like the biggest light bulb you ever could see or imagine. You become a planet of brilliancy. Over to you, Robert.
I love that, Marina. I love it. So in my light bulb strategy, what I do is basically, to make it easy to understand, basically I turn you into a light bulb, and then I show you how to lead the most brilliant life. And all throughout the book, I use analogies that deal with light. So, and I'll go through some of them with you today here, just so you can understand. But it's a very visual thing, and our brains work very well with visuals. So step 1 of the light bulb strategy, it's called change the light bulb. And when I say change the light bulb, I don't mean that you need to replace yourself. I mean, changing the light bulb might, might be changing the way you think. It's changing the people you hang around. There's a joke about how many psychiatrists does it take to change a light bulb? Well, just one, but the light bulb has to want to change. So the first step really is to make sure that you want to change. And you put a plan in play to get onto the path to brilliance. So the first step is change the light bulb, and it's represented. If you visualize a drawing of or you can just look at a standard incandescent light bulb. At the very bottom of the light bulb is the screw base, and I call that's the core. And that really, the core represents who you are. It's all about your values, your beliefs, your experiences. It's your habits. It's your attitude. And so we really need to change the way we think. I think I have a thing called, one of the things is limiting beliefs. And limiting beliefs is one of the things that hold us back. And, so people say, I can't do that. I'm not smart enough to do that. I don't have time to do that. That's all limiting beliefs. And I call that 60-watt light bulb thinking.
Wow.
In Canada here,
60 watt. I love it.
Yeah, so it's just people can connect with that. I know what a 60-watt light bulb is. So, and it's written right on the light bulb, right? It says 60 watts right on the light bulb. It's a limiting belief written right on that light bulb. So what do you need to do to become a 100-watt light bulb, a 1,000-watt light bulb, a 5,000-watt light bulb? You need to change the way you talk to yourself. So instead of saying, I can't do that, change the words around so you can say, how can I do that? And our brains are we're goal-seeking creatures. And when we start asking our brains questions, our brains start to go out to try and find the answers.
Sorry to interrupt, because this is I'm very passionate about this word, how. Actually, I'm very passionate about killing the word how, so nobody will ever use it again. So you are saying that you are asking your brain how, but you see what's happening. This is the challenge I had myself, so that's why I have to share it, if you don't mind. Yeah. Your show, you could tell me off after all. So yeah, you see, Robert, when you ask yourself how, you start focusing on what you don't have. But what I realized since I stopped asking myself how, instead of asking myself how I could turn myself into a 60 or 1,000 watt light bulb, I'm asking, wow. I'm not asking anymore. I'm just saying. My question become an exclamation mark and is wow.
Wow.
I am becoming a 1,000 plus
That's incredible.
light bulb. Because you see, each time you start thinking of the logistic, you go drawn into that dark corridor where there is no light. You know, it's like a black tunnel. You get in and you never come out. So that's why, to me, each time I can't help it. I'm really, I'm not even apologizing for this. Actually,
No.
you know, I can't help it. I have to see that the word how doesn't exist anymore in anyone's mind. It's only wow. So when you switch, when you trade the how for the wow, everything changes. Absolutely everything changes, because you can't change your circumstances. People are thinking, how on earth I'm going to do what Robert wants me to do, or how on earth I'm going to become who I could become. But you see, turning the how into the wow helps you grow into the person you could be, into the person you need to be to have the power of a 1,000 plus watt light bulb.
Right on. So give me an example of how you put wow into action.
Yes. So ask me something. How are you doing something? Ask me.
How are you doing with writing your books?
Okay. Wow. I'm writing my books. You see. So when you remove the element of questioning, the doubt, you remove every single stops that they in your way. There are no stops. There are no breaks. You become unstoppable because you know somebody else has done it already. So what else do you need? I mean, what other proof do you need? If somebody else can do something, when somebody else does something, you are saying, wow. But if you doubt they can do it, then you doubt you can do it. So to me, it's not about questioning anymore. It's about going all in.
So it's not a question anymore, it's a statement.
It's a statement.
Right on. I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
So the other thing is really important is your values, and I call it your inner light of brilliance. And it's the values, you know, and I have a lot of values. We all have our values, and our values are changing all the time. So, for example, my values would be, of course, my family. I value learning. I value growing. I value security. And I mean, you know, we all grow up, you know, and we go to school and we're taught go to school, get a good job, and then you can make a good living, and that's security. And you know, I sit there and I think, you know, if I truly value security, then yeah, I'll go out and get a good job. But you know, the company I worked for last year let go 1,700 people. So you kind of think, wow, if I really value security, then you really need to have other methods of getting income to provide for yourself and your family. So that's why I thought, well, gee, there's other things, that other venues or other ways of getting passive income. The other thing I do is invest in real estate, which has been very good for me. So just reviewing your values is such an important thing to do. I mean, I worked for a company before the one I was at today that I'm at, and I worked at this company, and one day a couple cars pulled into the driveway, and they came in and they announced themselves as trustees in bankruptcy. And many of the people within the company were let go right then and there on the spot, and it was so devastating, because a lot of these people that you're working with, they're like your second family, and then all of a sudden, they're told to leave, and it was just a whole myriad of emotions, and I really figured, gee, if I really value security, if something like that was to ever happen, what can I do, to make sure that I can provide. thing that I talk about in my book, and the other thing that really can hold us back is our habits. And again, going back to some light analogies, I use the analogy or the metaphor of a dimmer switch. And I think we've all seen a dimmer switch or used a dimmer switch. So if we put the dimmer switch up high, it provides maximum power to a light bulb and it gives off a lot of light. And if we lower the dimmer switch, it's very low, or it can give off little or no light. And so I like to use this the dimmer switch as an analogy or a metaphor for our habits. And so if you have positive habits, and I call them habits of brilliance, then if you're drinking water, you're exercising, you're eating right, these are all positive habits of brilliance, and your light bulb will shine brilliantly. And if
so I really love this, Robert. So you are saying that the dimmer switch is allowing you to choose when you say yes to yourself, having healthy habits, running, eating, laughing, loving, whatever that might be, because each one of us is so different. So when you say yes to yourself, you turn it up. Is that correct?
You got it.
Wow. Brilliant. Love it.
Wow, brilliant. Very good. And the other thing I talk about is fear of the dark, and it's just because I'm talking about light and dark, fear of the dark. It's about our fears and things that can hold us back. And I always use the question, who invented the light bulb? Right?
Love it.
And what's that?
Love it, because I always think of the 10,000 times when Edison was inventing and reinventing the light bulb. So.
Right. Because so Thomas Edison, he didn't invent the light bulb, but he created the sustainable light source. But you're right. I mean, he was in his lab for months, years to develop the standard incandescent light bulb that provided a sustainable light source.
Can we go back a little bit? So he was creating the source of.
Well, he didn't invent the light bulb, but he created a sustainable light source. So he was one that made a light bulb last longer, and provide light for a longer period of time. I guess it was. He was trying out all different types of filaments that would work. And I think it was a bamboo filament he discovered, came out of Japan, I believe it was, that provided a sustainable light source. So it was, lasted longer. And but it's interesting is that, and you got the quote bang on, right? It's he failed many times, to make this light source work. And he's, it's famous for no one to be saying, I've not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. And people got to realize that.
I love this guy, because each day I'm thinking, failure doesn't exist. And I have the proof for that. Over to you, Robert.
Yeah. So, what's really interesting is, people talk about overnight successes, but, there might have been years of work in order to become an overnight success. But things like Thomas Edison, I don't know if you knew, Marina, but Thomas Edison owned a cement company. Did you know that?
No.
So Thomas Edison had a cement company, and with the cement company, he actually was building houses made out of cement. And the furniture inside the house was also made of cement.
Wow.
So unfortunately, it didn't work out very well, and it was a failure. The other thing Edison did was he created the first phonograph, talking doll. I don't know if you heard about that.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, and these dolls actually, if you can get one today, they're quite valuable. But at the time, I think they were costing about $10 at the time, which was quite a bit of money at the time. But the problem is with these dolls is that the voice and the recording that came out of it was actually scaring children more than it was comforting them, because the voice was very scary. And if you go online, you can actually hear the voice, and it's quite interesting. But again, it was a dismal failure. He created these, he actually called them his little monsters, and because they were just it was a failure for him. But people, they don't hear about all these failures, and so you just got to understand that failure is part of the process to success and to brilliance, and you just got to go through the process. And so let's talk about that's really about step one. It's all about changing the light bulb, and it's represented by the core of the light bulb, and it's all about who you are. And so the step two of the light bulb strategy, if you can visualize a light bulb again, and on the core of the light bulb at the bottom of the base is a screw cap, and the screw cap, it's a continuous groove and allows you to screw in a light bulb. And on my diagram for the light bulb blueprint, I've actually got 3 lines that represent the screw cap base. And the screw cap, each of those parts represents your overall mission in life, your vision, and then your goals. And what's significant about the screw cap here is, although on my diagram it's showing us 3 distinct separate things, vision, your mission, and goals, they are all intertwined. And what I mean by that is you need to kind of figure out, what is your overall mission or passion, or why it is you're here on this earth, and what value do you want to provide others and be brilliant at.
Okay,
and that's
okay.
your
So,
overall
Robert,
mission.
so let's take the academic out of this, and just tell us, what is that you want?
My mission?
Yes.
My mission is to, be a great father to my children, to be a loving husband to my wife, to be a great son. But the other thing is also to be a great teacher, to help other people. That's my mission.
You see, Robert, I love it. And I tell you what I see. I see that Robert Craig, this amazing agent of brilliancy from Canada, is creating the sustainable source of light to last generations to come.
Wow.
Until next time, from both of us is goodbye.
Thank you, Marina.
Goodbye.